Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. The judge's gavel came down for the last time in a little courtroom in India 2 days ago. Jenny and Sumit are now divorced. The decision not only ended their marriage, but it also told Sumit Singh to give Jenny $50,000 as a settlement. Within hours, pictures of the pair walking sadly out of the courthouse, their faces heavy with grief, went viral on Instagram, sparking a flood of responses from followers all over the world. What happened to this couple that went against cultural traditions, their parents' disapproval, and the doubts of spectators, all in the sake of love? What caused their marriage to fail? What does this divorce signify for the future of both of them? When Jenny Slatin, a 65-year-old woman from Palm Springs, California, met Sumit Singh online, she wasn't searching for a fairy tale. Sumit was 33 years old and resided in India. He was looking for partnerships outside of his own culture. Their first connection was simple. They sent flirty texts, made video chats, and then decided to meet in person. What happened next was a whirlwind that swiftly turned into chaos. Jenny gave up her life in America to find love in India. Fans recall the early episodes of 90 Day Fiancé. The other way when Jenny initially came to the show. Sumit welcomed her with a kind grin, but he had secrets that made her feel uneasy. At the time, he was already in an arranged marriage, which he had kept from Jenny until the truth came out in a big way. Even though he hurt her, Jenny forgave him. Even though her family didn't want her to, she stood by him. She thought their love was special and worth all the sacrifices, even if she was dealing with her own problems like being alone, cultural differences, and money problems. An elder American woman and a younger Indian guy fighting tradition and judgment to be together became a symbol of rebellion. As time went on, viewers became more and more interested in their adventure, cheering them on through every setback. When Sumit finally divorced Jenny's previous wife, Jenny thought she would be able to marry him legally. In 2021, they eventually got married, although it was discreet and private, and his parents didn't approve. It seemed like a fairy tale ending to admirers. But, as always, reality is more messy. Sources close to the pair said that Jenny and Sumit's marriage had been in trouble for weeks before they filed for divorce. Even though they had conquered huge problems, their relationship started to fall apart in ordinary life. Cultural differences were a big problem. Jenny, who was used to American freedom and Western norms, often felt alone in India. She had a hard time meeting the expectations that came with being a wife in a traditional family. Sumit, on the other hand, was always under pressure to make his marriage work even though his parents didn't like it. He loved Jenny, but he could never really break free from what his family expected of him. Another reason for conflict that was reported was money problems. The pair was famous because they were on TLC shows and spin-offs, but they were alleged to have had a lot of fights about money. Jenny wanted to feel safe and stable in her latter years, but Sumit, who was still young, was doing other things that occasionally got in the way of her goals. Age also became a clear role. The 30-year age difference between them, which had once been a sign of strength and love over all circumstances, began to feel like a burden. Jenny wanted to live a calmer, more serene life, whereas Sumit wanted to have experiences and possibilities that were more in line with his generation. Everything got worse because of the pressure from social media. Fans and critics alike picked apart every move they made. People were saying bad things about their relationship, doubting Sumit's motives, and always wondering if their marriage could really endure. All of these things seemed to get into their private life. By the end of summer, some people close to the couple said they hardly spoke at home. Disagreements turned into quiet, and silence turned into separation. On September 21, 2025, Jenny and Sumit walked into an Indian courthouse for the last time. People who were there said the mood was tight but calm. Jenny, who was wearing a basic cream-colored salwar kameez, kept her head down while reporters yelled questions at her. Sumit, who seemed leaner and more serious than fans remembered, strolled next to her but not with her. There was no holding hands or whispering words of comfort. Everyone just accepted what was going to happen. Things moved quickly in the courtroom. Lawyers talked about the terms of the divorce. After weeks of talking, they agreed that Sumit would give Jenny $50,000 as a settlement. This amount wasn't a lot compared to celebrity divorces in the West, but in India, it was both a payment and an acknowledgement of Jenny's sacrifices. Witnesses said that Jenny was emotional but calm. She sometimes wiped her eyes with a tissue, but when asked if she agreed to the terms, she responded clearly. Sumit mostly stayed quiet and only spoke when the judge asked him to. It was finished in less than an hour. The judge said the marriage was over, and that was the end of one of reality TV's most interesting love tales. A few minutes after leaving the courthouse, paparazzi and those passing by took pictures that would soon be all over social media. In one, Jenny gets into a car with big sunglasses on her face that hide her face. In another, Sumit walks a few steps behind her. His face is hard to interpret, but it's clear that he's really unhappy. These pictures became viral on Instagram, with both fan accounts and gossip publications sharing them. Some captions were sad, while others were happy. Love doesn't always win. This hurts to see. Jenny deserves peace after everything she went through. I always knew it wouldn't last. Sad but not surprising. Within hours, the posts had thousands of comments. Fans were sad, angry, and disappointed, and many talked about the early days of their journey. Some people said bad things about Sumit, saying he was wasting Jenny's time or giving in to cultural influences. Some people said Jenny should have known this would happen. No matter what anyone thought, one thing was clear. Jenny and Sumit's divorce was a public event, not just a personal tragedy. Almost right away, big entertainment news sites in the US and India picked up the story. The headlines made the split sound both shocking and unavoidable. 90 Day Fiancé stars call it quits after years of drama. Jenny and Sumit's marriage ends in courtroom settlement, and from fairy tale to failure, a reality TV divorce goes public. Some news outlets even guessed at the deeper reasons for the divorce. Did Sumit's parents finally get what they wanted? Did the couple's money problems become too much to handle? Or did their age really get in the way of their love? People connected to TLC said that the network had been filming sections of their problems, which made fans wonder if they would see their breakup in a future spin-off. If so, it would be one of the most shocking storylines in the history of 90 Day Fiancé. Reports suggest that Jenny has been living with close friends in India after the divorce. However, there are whispers that she might move back to California for good in the next few weeks. People who know her say she is heartbroken yet tough, and she is determined not to let this end define her life. Reports say that Sumit has pulled away from public life and is avoiding interviews and social events. Some people think he feels like a complete failure, not just because his marriage is over, but also because of how the world sees him now. The $50,000 compensation is a lot of money, but it doesn't heal the emotional wounds that were left behind. Jenny's divorce is the end of years of giving up and being loyal. For Sumit, it means the end of the love tale he was willing to risk everything for. People will argue for years over whether Jenny and Sumit's relationship was doomed from the start, or if it could have worked out if they had made other decisions. But you can't deny that they had an effect on the realm of reality TV. They showed millions that love can go across generations, cultures, and countries. They proved that sacrifice is real, that family may be very against you, and that no matter how special your love is, it will always be affected by the stresses of everyday life. Now that the divorce is permanent, Jenny and Sumit are going their own ways. It's not clear what the future holds for each of them. Going back to her family in California might bring Jenny solace. Sumit might stay in India to rebuild his life and identity away from the cameras. One thing is for sure. Their narrative has left a lasting impression on the hearts of people who believed in them, not only on TV. Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh's story was one of the most memorable in the world of 90 Day Fiancé, where love stories are put under the harsh light of reality. Fans were hooked as soon as Jenny got on the plane to India. Their relationship was put to the test over and over again, from Sumit's lies about his first marriage to the tears they shared together in front of his family. The fairy tale is over, not with a happy ending but with a court order. But their relationship will continue on. It reminds us that love isn't always enough, even though it is strong. It serves as a reminder that cultural differences, familial ties, money problems, and age gaps may occasionally get in the way of even the best of intentions. Above all, it reminds us that behind every viral photo, headline, and reality TV show plotline are two real people who used to love each other very much and now have to learn how to live without each other. Fans all over the world will always remember Jenny and Sumit's narrative of hope, sacrifice, heartbreak, and strength, even though their chapter is over. The divorce of Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh, which was concluded in an Indian court just 2 days ago, is already one of the most talked about occurrences in 90-Day Fiancé history. The pictures of Jenny with sunglasses on and Sumit walking behind her with a blank look on his face are still all over social media. Their breakup is formal on paper, but it has had effects that go well beyond the courtroom. Fans are picking over every little thing. The media is guessing what really happened, and some who work for TLC are already giving hints about what might happen next for the show. What used to be a love tale about strength and disobedience has turned into a worldwide discussion about love, sacrifice, and how fame can make relationships fragile. As things calm down, the fallout from Jenny and Sumit's breakup is equally as interesting as their love story. Fans started posting theories on social media in the hours after the news broke. Some people said that the cultural and family strains were just too much for the marriage to last, and that Sumit had been divided between two worlds from the start. Some people thought that money problems, age differences, and long-standing fights about where to reside were the last straw. Some admirers even thought that TLC's cameras had somehow sped up the end of their romance. One admirer on Twitter said, "No marriage could survive under that kind of constant scrutiny." Another person said, "I think Sumit loved her, but the pressure of the show, his family, and being online every day just became too much." These comments showed that more and more people were realizing that reality TV is fun to watch, but it takes a lot out of the people who are on it. At the same time, news organizations hurried to tell their own stories. While tabloids focused on the $50,000 settlement as a sign of betrayal or remorse, more serious news sites looked into the cultural aspects of the divorce. Some Indian newspapers said that the breakup was unavoidable because Sumit's family didn't like it from the start. American news, on the other hand, focused on Jenny's sacrifices. She left her home, her job, and her nation for a love that didn't work out. Interviews with relationship specialists started to show up, each one giving their opinion on why this couple couldn't last. Most people agreed on one thing: love had taken them far, but the realities of life, such as age, money, and family, were too much to handle. But maybe the most interesting things have come from people who work for TLC. People who know the network well have said that a lot of Jenny and Sumit's problems were shot in the months before they got divorced. Confidentiality agreements keep workers from saying too much, but rumors say that the footage is both upsetting and shocking. Fans may soon see the marriage slowly fall apart in a future spin-off if TLC decides to air it. The prospect has already caused a lot of talk among spectators. Some people think it would be wrong to show Jenny and Sumit's agony for ratings, while others say that the couple, who have been on reality TV for a long time, knew their life would be filmed no matter what. A well-known entertainment blog got this information from someone who works in the industry. The network sees this as one of the most important storylines in recent memory. They won't let anything go to waste. Now that Jenny and Sumit's marriage is finished, the only question is if they would agree to keep shooting. We can't overlook the human cost of the divorce, even if we don't know what it is. Friends say Jenny is heartbroken yet determined to stay strong. People who know her well say she has been relying a lot on her support network in India, but she has also been in touch with her daughters in California all the time. Some people say that she might soon come back to the United States, possibly for good, or at least for a short time, to recover and rebuild. Jenny's sadness is made worse by the feeling of being out of place. She moved her life to India, and now she has to figure out where she really belongs. Friends say she is very sad but strong, and many followers online have said they want her to find peace, whether it is in India or back home in the US. People say that Sumit is keeping a low profile. Since the divorce was official, he hasn't spoken to the public. People who know him say he is having a hard time with a mix of humiliation and sadness. Some stories say that he has even cut ties with his family and is spending time alone to deal with the end of his marriage. Some people say that now that Jenny is out of his life, he might try to reconnect with his parents. If this is true, it makes things hard to understand. Did Sumit pick his family above his wife after years of working for their relationship? Or is he stuck in a limbo where he has lost both? Some fans agree with him, while others criticize him for not standing by the woman who gave up everything for him. People are also talking about the $50,000 settlement. The number isn't very big by Western celebrity standards, but it means a lot in India. For a lot of admirers, it stands for a kind of justice for Jenny, who spent years of her life in a relationship that ended in heartbreak. "It's not about the money," one Instagram user remarked. "It's about recognizing what she went through. She deserves this and more." Others disagree, saying that no amount of money can really make up for the sacrifices Jenny made. People have talked a lot about the court's decision as a turning point, not just in the couple's journey, but also in the larger discourse about cross-cultural weddings and being responsible. Fan groups have also begun to guess what would happen next for Jenny and Sumit. Some people think Jenny may come back to TV in a fresh way, maybe in a spin-off that follows her life after her divorce, her return to the US, and her recovery process. People that care about her narrative would definitely watch a show like this. It's not clear what the future holds for Sumit in the franchise. He is still a well-known figure, but his reputation among fans has taken a hit. Some people still support him, saying that his years of defying his family show how much he loved Jenny. Others, though, think he let her down in the end. It's not certain if TLC will keep showing him, but since the network loves drama, it's possible that both Jenny and Sumit might show up again in the future, either alone or together. It's interesting that talks about Jenny and Sumit's divorce have gone beyond the world of entertainment. Their narrative has become a case study for academics, cultural analysts, and social critics who want to learn more about globalization, cultural strife, and the effects of reality TV. There are articles being published about what their relationship reveals about the differences between men and women, the clash between tradition and modernity, and the mental toll of living in the public eye. Some people see Jenny and Sumit as examples of how dangerous it is to romanticize cross-cultural relationships without fully understanding the problems they might cause. For some, they are emblems of bravery, people who loved even when they knew it wouldn't work out. Fans' own words may best portray the emotional impact of their breakup. People who have had similar problems in their own relationships are sharing their stories on Reddit threads, Instagram comment sections, and Facebook groups that are all about 90 Day Fiancé. People who are older women with younger men, couples from different cultures, and people who have been in long-distance relationships have all said that Jenny and Sumit's tale is like their own. One fan said, "Watching them was like watching my own life. I'm in my 50s, my husband is in his 30s, and his family never liked me. It's painful, but it's real." These kinds of remarks show why Jenny and Sumit's story struck such a chord with people. It was about more than just them. It was about love, sacrifice, and the price of following your heart instead of your mind. But even if everyone is upset, fans are still grateful. Thankful that Jenny and Sumit spoke their story, let the world see their highs and lows, and were honest, which led to conversations about things that are usually not talked about. Their marriage may be over, but their legacy lives on. Their names will probably live on in the legacy of 90 Day Fiancé for a long time, not only as another couple who didn't make it, but as a reminder of what it means to strive for love even when things seem impossible. It looks like Jenny and Sumit will both need time in the future. Time to recover, time to figure out who they are again, and time to determine what to do next. For Jenny, this could mean going back to the US, spending time with family, and maybe even telling her experience in new ways, including on TV, in interviews, or even in a book. For Sumit, the way forward is less clear, but it might mean facing the cultural and family expectations that made his marriage so hard. Fans will keep an eye on their life, whether or not they go back to reality TV, to see how they rebuild. The narrative of Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh has taken a sad turn, but it is still one of the most interesting ones in the world of reality TV. Their divorce may have ended one chapter, but it has started another, one full of questions, guesses, and the lasting interest of millions of spectators around the world. Even if their love didn't last, the memory of their journey, full of sacrifice, strength, and real human emotion, will live on long after the last court papers have been filed. Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh's divorce is already one of the most memorable storylines in 90 Day Fiancé history. 2 days ago, when the judge's gavel came down in an Indian courtroom, their marriage, which had previously been a sign of love, defiance, and sacrifice against the odds, was legally over. Sumit had to give Jenny $50,000, which is more than just money. It's also a sign of how much time Jenny spent in a relationship that many people thought wouldn't work out from the start. The decision in court was quick, but the emotional and cultural effects are still being felt. Fans are shocked. The media is picking apart the breakup, and Jenny and Sumit are now at a crossroads, attempting to picture what life might be like without each other. Jenny's sadness has been deep but not surprising. People who know her well believe she has been emotionally burdened by being an outsider in India for a long time. From the very beginning of her relationship with Sumit, she had to struggle against his family's rejection, cultural norms, and rumors that their love was doomed because they were 30 years apart in age. After years of commitment and hope, leaving now makes her feel empty. Friends say she is weak yet strong, and she relies on her daughters in California for assistance. People are already saying that she would go back home for good, leaving the country she moved to for love. Jenny's homecoming to the United States could be bittersweet. On the one hand, she would be with her family again and feel at home again. On the other hand, she would always remember the sorrow of what she gave up and lost in order to be happy with Sumit. After that, though, Sumit is still a bit of a mystery. People who have talked to him say he is a man who is sad and ashamed. For years, he fought his family tooth and claw for Jenny, ignoring their pleas, risking being cut off from them, and even being made fun of by neighbors and relatives. Fans and onlookers are now wondering if all that rebellion was worth it now that the marriage is gone. Did he give in to societal pressure in the end, or did the marriage just fall apart on its own? Some people think that Sumit would try to get back in touch with his parents, while others think that the gap between them is too big to close. One thing is for sure, Sumit has gone silent and is staying away from cameras, interviews, and social media. His silence now says a lot for a man who used to show the world everything about himself. People still remember the viral pictures of Jenny and Sumit leaving the courthouse. Jenny's big sunglasses masked her tears, while Sumit's serious expression was right behind her. These pictures show not only the end of a marriage, but also the loss of the concept that love can conquer anything. Fans have filled the comments with their sadness and anger. One user said, "This hurts more than I thought it would. I believed in them." Others were angry and blamed Sumit for wasting Jenny's time, or said he never really committed. But there were also words of kindness for him, saying how hard it was for him to choose between love and culture, between his wife and his family. This range of reactions shows why their story struck such a chord. It was a lot like the messy, confusing relationships that most people have every day. The media has been all over it. American news sites have focused on Jenny's sacrifices, portraying her as a lady who gave all for love and ended up sad. Indian news agencies have mostly framed the divorce as the expected result of a relationship that didn't fit in with societal norms. People who work for TLC have already started to hint at what fans thought. A lot of Jenny and Sumit's problems were taped before the divorce was final. If the network agrees to show that footage, the public may soon see their marriage slowly fall apart on screen. There is still disagreement about whether this would provide viewers closure or take advantage of the couple's sorrow, but most people agree that TLC will take the chance to film one of the most dramatic storylines in franchise history. There has been a lot of talk about the $50,000 settlement itself. For some, it seems like justice for Jenny, a way to honor what she gave up. For some, it's not enough compared to how much time she spent on the relationship. But maybe the money isn't the underlying problem. Fans really just want Jenny to get some respect for the horrible times she went through. The money can't make up for the loneliness, the rejection from her family, or the emotional toll, but it does draw a line in the sand. Her time with Sumit was important and can't be ignored. People are making wild guesses about what may happen in the future. A lot of people want Jenny to have her own spin-off show that follows her as she heals and finds herself again after her divorce. People who have followed her tale over the years now want to protect her and hope she finds serenity and maybe even love again. It's not clear what the future holds for Sumit in the franchise. Even while he is still a well-known face, the opposition he is getting could make it hard for TLC to give him a lot of screen time. In reality TV, though, drama typically draws in viewers, so it wouldn't be shocking if both Jenny and Sumit kept showing up on screens, even if they weren't together. Not only is their story sad because their marriage fell apart, but also because it has touched so many people. Fans are talking about their own experiences with relationships between people from different cultures, age gaps, and family disapproval on forums, blogs, and social media. For viewers who were going through similar problems, Jenny and Sumit's journey, with all its drama, became a mirror. One fan posted on Reddit, "Their story is my story. I married someone from a different culture, and his family never liked me. Watching them was like watching my own heartbreak. This is why so many people feel so close to their divorce. It's not just about two reality TV stars. It's about the pain that everyone feels when they choose love and then lose it. Even though grief is the main feeling, thankfulness also comes through." A lot of admirers have commended Jenny and Sumit for being open about their lives and letting others into them. By doing this, they got people talking about things that are usually kept quiet, such the problems that come up in international relationships, the truth about big age gaps, and the heavy burden of family expectations. People who watch the tale unfold can't deny that it had a big impact on the franchise and on the people who watched it, even whether they thought the characters were heroes, fools, or something in between. The future is unclear but unavoidable for Jenny and Sumit as they go their separate ways. Jenny might go back to California, where she will be with her family again and feel at home again after years of being away. Sumit might stay in India to try to rebuild his life and find a new identity outside of the marriage that used to define him. They may or may not be on TLC again, but their names will always be remembered in the history of 90 Day Fiancé. Their divorce marks the end of an era in reality TV, one that viewers will remember long after the news stories are over. Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh's story is both a warning and a tribute at the end. It is a warning on how love can only go so far when there are constant demands from culture, money, and personal issues. It is also an homage to two people who loved each other even though everything was against them. Even if their marriage is over, their effect lives on. People will keep talking about, analyzing, and remembering their story, not just because it ended in heartbreak, but also because it showed the truth that lies at the heart of reality TV. There are real people behind the drama, the cameras, and the headlines, and they are all trying to make love work. Even if Jenny and Sumit are no longer together, the world won't quickly forget how hard they fought to stay together. This gossip is over. If you like the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.